The sky tore open like paper. Fire and smoke trailed behind the falling ship as it screamed through the clouds. Birds scattered. Trees bent from the force of the crash. Then boom. The ground shook. Inside the wreckage, a man groaned. His name was Alex Mercer, a pilot from Earth. His mission had gone wrong. He didn't know how. One moment he was flying through deep space. The next, his ship was spinning, alarms flashing red, and systems failing. Now he was alone. Somewhere on a planet he didn't recognize. Alex opened his eyes. The sky was a strange shade of purple. 2 moons hung above. The air smelled sweet but unfamiliar. His arm hurt, and his leg was trapped under part of the ship. With a grunt, he pushed it off and dragged himself out. Around him, huge glowing trees swayed gently. Their leaves sparkled like stars. The forest was silent, but not in a peaceful way. It felt like something was watching. Alex limped forward, holding his broken comm unit. "Come on." "Just one signal," he whispered, trying to get it working, but the screen stayed black. He needed shelter. He needed food. And he needed help. As night came, the forest changed. Strange lights blinked between the trees. Eyes maybe. Whispers echoed. A soft hiss like breathing. He built a small fire using emergency supplies. It crackled weakly, barely giving warmth. Alex sat close, holding a flare gun and scanning the darkness. Then crunch. He froze. Something or someone was stepping closer, carefully, slowly. "Who's there?" he called out. No answer. He turned and aimed the flare gun but saw nothing, only shadows. Suddenly, a small stone flew from the darkness and hit the fire, scattering sparks. He jumped up, heart pounding. "I don't want trouble," he yelled. But again, silence. That night, Alex didn't sleep. Morning came with golden light and a soft wind. The forest looked less scary in the day. Birds sang. The glowing trees were beautiful, almost like magic. But something was wrong. His bag was gone. So was the beacon. Someone took it, Alex said to himself. He looked around for footprints, but saw none. Still, he knew he wasn't alone. He followed a narrow path through the trees, hoping to find who or what lived here. As he walked, he heard soft giggles behind him. Then silence. Once he turned and saw a figure vanish behind a tree. Tall, thin, fast. Then he found it. His beacon, crushed into pieces near a stream. It hadn't fallen. It had been smashed. "Why?" he muttered. Suddenly he heard voices. Strange, musical voices. He turned and saw them 5 alien women. They stood on rocks, watching him. Their skin was pale with a soft glow. Their eyes were large and golden. Long hair flowed down their backs, some black, some silver. They wore wraps of soft fabric and bones and carried sharp spears. Alex raised his hands. "I'm not here to fight." The women didn't move. One stepped forward. She had short silver hair and marks on her face. She stared at Alex with curious eyes, then pointed to her chest and said, "Lara." Alex blinked. "Lara." He pointed to himself. "Alex." The woman repeated, "Alex." Then she smiled. It wasn't a warm smile. It was strange. Hungry. More women came, 10, 15, surrounding him. All tall, all quiet. All eyes locked on him like he was food or treasure. They whispered in their own language. Alex couldn't understand, but the tone was clear. Surprise, excitement, something else. One woman reached out and touched his face, gently, her fingers cold. Another grabbed his hand and pulled him toward the forest. "Wait," Alex shouted, trying to pull away, but their grip was strong. They didn't hurt him, but they wouldn't let him go. After a long walk, they reached a hidden valley surrounded by cliffs. Inside was a strange village, stone homes, glowing plants, and flowing water. It was peaceful but empty. No men, only women, dozens of them, all watching Alex like he was the sun itself. They gave him food, sweet fruits and warm roots. They gave him clean water. They cleaned his wounds, but they also locked him inside a soft tent made of animal skins. Outside, 2 guards stood with spears. Alex sat down, confused and scared. "What do they want?" he whispered. Then the tent flap opened. It was Lara, the silver-haired woman. She stepped inside alone and looked at him. She said nothing at first. Then she slowly placed her hand on his chest and whispered one word in broken standard, mate. The tribe, without males, stared at Lara. Mate, she repeated softly, as if testing the word. Her golden eyes didn't blink. Her hand stayed on his chest. The moment felt too strange, too fast. Alex gently pulled away. I think you don't understand, he said. But he knew she didn't understand his words. Still, she smiled, like she did understand something deeper. She left the tent without another word. Outside, the alien village moved like a quiet dream. Women carried baskets, stirred glowing pots, and whispered to each other. But every now and then, they stared at Alex's tent. Some looked curious. Some looked nervous. Others looked too interested. Alex sat inside, trying to make sense of everything. No men, only women. They didn't seem cruel. They gave him food, treated his wounds, didn't tie him up. But he was still a prisoner. The guards outside his tent never left. He looked around the soft tent, woven mats, water jugs, carved bone tools. He noticed small things, tiny figures carved into the wood walls. They were all women. No male figures at all. That night, the same young woman who stared at him in the forest appeared again. She stepped into the tent quietly and sat near the fire. She didn't touch him. She just looked at him, her head tilted slightly. Why are you here? Alex asked. She said something in her language, then touched her own chest. Sorry, Alex repeated. She smiled. Then she pointed at his hand. Warm, she said. She placed her hand gently over his. Alex pulled his hand back, confused. Before she could speak again, a voice shouted from outside. One of the guards, the girl, stood quickly and ran out of the tent. Alex was left alone again. The next morning, something changed. They dressed Alex in new clothes, loose cloth, soft shoes, a necklace made of small polished stones. The guards didn't say anything, just brought him outside into the center of the village. There, a large circle had been cleared. Dozens of alien women stood around, watching him. A fire burned in the middle, and beside it stood Lara, the leader. She held up her hand and spoke in their language, loud and clear. Her voice echoed between the stone walls. The other women listened silently. Then one by one, they stepped forward. Each woman placed something before Alex, an offering. One gave him a carved knife, another a basket of strange berries. One offered a robe made of soft white fur. Another handed him a glowing stone. Each time they touched their chest and said their name, Nara, Ali, Tuma, and so on. Alex stood there, not knowing what to say. Were they trying to win his favor? Then Lara stepped forward and spoke in broken standard again. You choose, she said. He realized the truth. This was not just a welcome. It was a ritual, a choosing. They were treating him like a gift from the stars. A man, after so many years, he looked around, heart racing. I can't do this, he said quietly. I'm not staying. But the women didn't understand. They smiled. Some touched their lips or hearts. They thought he was thinking. He turned to Lara. Please, I want to go home. Lara stepped closer. Her face grew more serious. No home, she said. Alex stared. What? She pointed to the sky. Sky is broken. No more ships. Alex stepped back. That's not true. My people will come. But Lara only looked at him with sadness. They don't come. We wait. We cry. We bury. Now only we. Alex sat down slowly. His beacon smashed, his ship ruined. This tribe, they believed he was the only male they'd ever see again. He realized something terrifying. To them, he wasn't just a guest. He was hope. That night, Lara came to his tent again. This time, she sat down holding a wooden bowl of glowing liquid. She placed it in front of him. Drink, she said. He looked at it, then at her. What is it? She pointed to her heart. Truth. Then to her head. Dream. He didn't drink. Instead, he looked into her eyes. Why me? She didn't understand the words, but she must have felt the question. She touched her chest again. We wait long. No sons, no husbands, no strong. Only we now. You. Alex felt like the walls were closing in. He wasn't free. And tomorrow, something bigger was coming. Not a prisoner, not freed. Alex woke to soft singing. Voices, dozens of them, women's voices. He stepped outside the tent slowly, blinking at the morning light. The village was alive with music, soft drums, and dancing feet. The alien women were painting their faces with red and gold colors. Some danced in circles. Others decorated the trees with ribbons and bones. Something big was happening. A young girl saw him and ran off, calling in her language. Moments later, Lara appeared. She walked with pride. Her silver hair was braided with feathers. Her clothes were different now, more elegant, royal. She stood before him and said clearly, "Today you choose." Alex shook his head. "No, I told you I can't stay." But she only smiled. "You are already here. You are not a prisoner. You are not free. You are a gift." Alex stepped back. "You don't understand. I have a life. I have people." She reached out, placing her hand on his chest. "Now we are people." The celebration began. The tribe called it the joining moon, a ritual that only happened when the moon turned red in the sky. Once every 10 seasons, every woman wore something special. Some wore glowing jewelry. Others carried gifts in their hands. They lined up one by one to present themselves. It wasn't forced. No one dragged him, but the pressure was heavy. Like all eyes were silently begging him, "Pick me. Save us. Stay with us." He sat on a raised stone seat while the ceremony went on. He tried not to look into their eyes. Every smile felt like a chain. Then Sori came forward, the shy girl from before. She didn't dance. She didn't smile like the others. Instead, she held something wrapped in cloth. She walked to him, unwrapped it slowly, and revealed his old earth patch, torn from his jacket. She had cleaned it, stitched it carefully, and placed tiny flowers around it. "My name," she said, touching her chest. "Sorry." Then she looked into his eyes. "Your name, Dax?" He stared at the patch. "You kept this?" She nodded, then whispered something soft, almost like a prayer, and stepped away. Later, Alex sat alone in his tent. He felt trapped but not in chains. In kindness, in pressure, in hope. They weren't bad people. They hadn't hurt him. They fed him, healed him, respected him, but they didn't listen. They didn't understand that he wanted to leave, that this world wasn't his. Suddenly, a shadow appeared. It was Sori again. She slipped in without a word, knelt beside him, and placed a blanket over his shoulders. "I help," she said. He looked at her. "Help." She nodded. "You not happy?" Alex nodded slowly. "No, I'm not." Then, to his shock, she pulled a small crystal from her pouch. It glowed softly. "This from Skyship long ago," she said. "It shows path." Alex's eyes widened. "It's a tracker." She didn't know the word, but she nodded anyway. "You want go, I show." Alex's heart pounded. "Why are you helping me?" Sori looked away. "Because you kind. You not laugh. You not take. You good." She stood. "But if others know, they stop." At midnight, they crept through the village. The celebration was still going, but most were drunk on flower wine or asleep near fires. Sori led him through narrow paths behind stone walls and into a small cave behind a waterfall. Inside, old things were hidden. Rusted tools, bones, broken tech. Sori reached behind a stone and pulled out a small satchel. Inside, a working beacon crystal blinked faintly. "This is all?" Alex asked. She nodded. "Broken, but maybe sky people find." He took it, handshaking. "This might save me." Suddenly, a voice echoed from outside the cave. It was Lara. She had followed them. Her eyes glowed with rage. She looked at Alex, then at Sori. "You take him?" she asked, voice shaking. "You hide him from us?" Sori stood tall. "He is not tool. He is man. He is free." Lara stepped closer. "He is not free. He is future." Alex spoke up. "No, I'm not your future. I'm just lost." Vera looked at them both and slowly lowered her staff. "Then go. But know this, you are not the first. Others tried. Sky never comes." Alex left the cave that night with the beacon in his hand and doubt in his heart. The women had not heard him, but they had expected too much. And now, even with the beacon, he wasn't sure if anyone would come. Not anymore. The choosing ritual began. The next sun rose red, not just in the sky but in the eyes of the tribe. Even after Alex and Sori returned to the village, nothing felt normal. The air was heavy. Every woman looked at Alex a little differently now. Not like before, not with excitement or hunger. Now it was doubt. Lara didn't speak to him again. She said nothing about the stolen beacon. She didn't punish Sori. She simply ordered, prepare the circle. The ritual must begin. And just like that, the choosing ritual was announced. But this time, it was not like the first. Alex stood in the center of a massive stone circle deep in the cliffs. The villagers had turned the space into a glowing arena. Lanterns filled with light fish floated in the air. Ancient drums pounded from every direction. Red dust was thrown into the air, and women painted their faces with streaks of gold, silver, and black. This was no longer about gifts. This was a test, a final trial, and the human was the prize. Lara stood tall in front of the crowd. Her staff slammed to the ground once. "This is the choosing," she said, her voice echoing. "But he is not chosen, so now we prove who is worthy." The women roared, not with joy but with challenge. Alex turned to Sori, standing quietly in the shadows. "What are they doing?" she answered softly. "They will fight." "Fight," Alex said. "For what?" "For me." Sori nodded. "Only one wins. Only one becomes yours." Alex's heart sank. This is wrong. I'm not a trophy. But no one asked the human how he felt. One by one, the women stepped into the ring. Not all, only 5. The strongest, the fastest, the boldest. Each had something to prove. Nara, the warrior with the bone blades. Ali, the hunter with lightning tattoos. Tuma, the quiet one with eyes that never blinked. Zia, the twin sister of a lost soldier. And lastly, Lara herself. The tribe gasped when the leaders stepped into the circle. No leader had joined a choosing in 50 years. Sori whispered, "If Lara wins, you belong to the whole tribe." Alex clenched his fists. "I don't belong to anyone." But still, the drums began. The ritual was not a battle to the death, but it wasn't gentle either. The 5 women moved with speed and power, striking with staffs, sweeping with feet, dodging, flipping, growling. Every hit landed with thunder. They weren't fighting just for him. They were fighting for their place, for their worth, for the right to bring life to their people again. Alex watched helplessly as the first was thrown out of the circle. Then another, then a third. It came down to Lara and Sori. Sori had entered last, quietly without weapons. "No," Alex had shouted, but the tribe allowed it. Lara was faster, stronger, trained. But Sori was determined. They circled each other, one tall and regal, the other small and soft. But when Lara lunged, Sori moved like wind. She didn't strike back with fists, but with heart. "Sorry," Alex called. "You don't have to do this." But Sori looked back only once and smiled. She ducked a heavy swing, rolled beneath Lara, and stood behind her. Then she stepped out of the circle. The tribe gasped. Sori had given up. Lara stood alone in the circle. She had won, but something was wrong. The people did not cheer. They looked confused. Quietly, Lara turned to Alex. "You are a tribe now," she said. But Alex stepped back. "I didn't ask for this. You are our only future," she insisted. "I'm one man. I can't save you all." "You are not gift," she asked slowly. "No, I'm a guest." Then, from the back of the crowd, a child stepped forward. A young girl, no older than 6, with pale blue skin and golden eyes. She walked into the circle and looked up at Alex. "You don't want to stay?" she asked in a small voice. He crouched beside her. "I miss my home," she said, looking sad. "But we waited so long." The circle broke. The tribe was silent. The ritual had ended, but no one felt like they had won. Lara dropped her staff. "If you leave," she said, "you will never return. Sky does not forgive." Alex held the broken beacon in his hand. It blinked once, just once, then went dark. His voice cracked. "Maybe the sky already forgot me." That night, Alex sat alone. He had a choice now. He could stay and be the leader they wanted, or keep trying to reach his people, even if they never came. And behind him, in the shadows of the tent, Sori waited. The escape and the betrayal. The fire crackled low. Alex sat at the edge of the village, staring into the glowing flames. The broken beacon rested in his hands. It had blinked once and then gone dark again. He wasn't sure if that blink meant anything. Behind him, the drums had gone quiet. The ritual was over. Lara had won, but she had not claimed him. Not yet. He still had time, and Sori was watching him. Late that night, when all was silent, Sori crept into his tent. "We go now," she whispered. Alex looked up, surprised. Now she nodded. "You don't belong here." He stood, heart pounding. "Are you sure?" She pressed a finger to her lips. "Follow me." They moved like shadows through the village. Sori led him through narrow stone paths and hidden tunnels lit by blue moss. The cliffs had holes and cracks from old times. Secret routes only the quiet ones remembered. She held his hand tightly, guiding him step by step. Alex could feel the weight in the air. This wasn't just escape. It was betrayal. Sori was going against everything, her people, her leader, her future, just to help a man who had fallen from the sky. They reached a cave near the edge of the cliff, a deep, dark passage that smelled of salt and wind. "Where does this go?" Alex asked. Sori pointed ahead. "The old shore where Skyship crashed many years ago. The signal might still reach from there." Alex blinked. "You mean there was another ship?" She nodded. "Before you, many years, one man. He ran. The tribe chased. He was never found." They moved through the tunnel. It felt endless, wet stone echoing steps, silence that grew heavy. Then up ahead, a faint light. The tunnel opened to a wide, rocky shore. Giant skeletons of metal ships lay broken and buried under sand and vines. The ocean stretched out silver under the twin moons. And there, in the sand, half buried, was a satellite dish. Old, rusted, but intact. Alex ran toward it, digging it free with his hands. "It might work," he whispered. He inserted the beacon crystal into the side of the device. It fit perfectly. He pressed the main button. It blinked once, twice, then again. Signal sent. A slow breath left his chest. Someone might hear that. But behind them a sound. Boots, stones, spears. The tribe had followed. Lara stood at the tunnel's mouth, her face stone cold. Behind her were 3 warriors, all carrying glowing staffs, all pointed at Sori and Alex. "You left," Lara said. "You stole hope." Sori stepped forward. "He is not ours to keep." "You speak like a stranger," Vera hissed. "You side with him." "I side with freedom." Vera raised her hand. The warriors took a step closer. Alex reached for a metal pipe nearby. "I don't want to fight," he warned, but they moved anyway. A short battle broke out under the moons. Alex swung the pipe wildly, blocking a spear. One hit his arm. Burning, he cried out. Sori threw a rock at a warrior's head, buying him time. He kicked another back, but there were too many. Then a blast of light from the sky. All froze. A ship. A real Earth ship descended above them. Lights cut through the dark. A voice echoed from a speaker. "Identify yourself." Alex shouted, "I'm Lieutenant Alex Mercer, Earth Alliance." "I'm alive." Vera's eyes widened. The warriors stepped back. The ship landed with a deep hum. The door opened. 2 humans in suits ran out and grabbed Alex, pulling him in. He turned to Sori. "Come with me." But she shook her head. "This is not my sky." He grabbed her hand. "You saved me." She smiled. "That is enough." Vera stepped forward one last time. "You leave now, but the sky always takes. One day it will take you too." Alex looked her in the eyes. "Maybe, but I will always remember who gave me a chance." Then the ship closed its doors and lifted off. Inside, Alex sat with the medic treating his wounds. He stared out the window. The alien tribe grew smaller and smaller, and then disappeared. He looked down at his hand. Sori had placed something there before he left. His old Earth patch, but now something was stitched beside it in glowing thread. A name. Sori. The Storm of Fire. The Earth ship soared into the sky. But Alex couldn't look away from the shrinking cliffs below. The tribe was gone now, hidden beneath the trees and stone. Sori, the girl who saved him, who risked everything, was standing down there, watching him disappear into the stars. He had escaped, but it didn't feel like freedom. It felt like loss. Vital stable, said the medic beside him. Minor burn on the arm, dehydration and exhaustion. You're lucky. Alex didn't answer. He stared at the glowing patch in his hand. Her name, Sorry, was stitched there, bright like starlight. They docked with a larger Earth vessel in orbit. The metal halls were cold, too clean, too loud. Humans in uniforms asked him 100 questions. What planet did you crash on? Were you harmed? Did the aliens torture you? Did they use you for experiments? Alex shook his head. No, they gave me food, shelter. They tried to keep me. Keep you how? He paused. They didn't have men. I was the first in many years. The officers stared. One leaned closer. Did they breed with you? No, Alex said firmly. I left before that happened. Good, the officer said coldly. We don't want any mixing. Days passed. Alex recovered physically, but inside, something burned. Each night, he dreamed of the cliffs, the glowing trees, the painted faces, and Sori's gentle eyes as she stepped back into the shadows and let him go. The beacon had worked. Earth had come, but not for her. Not for them. Then came the news. Back on Earth, the media told his story. Lost pilot returns from alien world. They called him a hero, a survivor, a symbol of human strength. But they twisted the truth. One headline read, they fought over him. Another claimed, alien tribe begged human for breeding. He refused. Alex shut the tablet in anger. They don't know anything, he muttered. In a secret meeting, Earth military officials called him in. You're lucky you escaped, said one officer. We're preparing a mission. What kind of mission? A cleansing. That planet is dangerous. Their numbers are growing. They could become a threat. Alex stood. They aren't a threat. They're a forgotten people, alone, surviving. But the man only said, we don't take chances. Alex clenched his fists. If you go down there with guns, you'll destroy something innocent. You'll burn their home. The general stood too. The moment you returned, that world became part of human interest. We can't let it remain uncontrolled. Alex walked out without another word. That night, he found a quiet place. He stared at the stars. He thought of Sori and what Lara had said. The sky always takes. She was right. But this time, maybe the sky needed to give something back. 3 days later, a shuttle disappeared from the main hangar. No one saw who took it. No logs were found. Only one man was missing. Lieutenant Alex Mercer. Far across the stars, in a sky strewn with fire and wind, a small ship entered the atmosphere of the alien world. It landed softly on the same rocky shore where a broken satellite still stood, buried half in sand, half in vines. The ship's door opened. Alex stepped out wearing Earth clothes, but his heart belonged somewhere else now. He walked toward the cliffs, unsure if they would find him, but they did. From the forest came shadows, painted faces, golden eyes, spears raised not in threat, but in caution. Then a soft voice said, you returned. It was Sori. She stepped out of the crowd, older, a little taller, but still with that same warmth in her eyes. You found the sky again, she said. He smiled. I found my home. She touched his hand. You stayed in my heart, she whispered. Alex looked at her tribe, then up at the red moon above. He reached into his bag and pulled out a solar seed, a gift from Earth, a way to grow crops in any soil, a way to feed the future. I didn't come empty-handed, he said. And somewhere in the stars, Earth searched for its missing pilot, unaware that he had chosen to be lost. Because sometimes being lost is where you finally find yourself. The human who became legend. Years passed. The stars still moved. The moon still rose. And the alien world, once forgotten, grew brighter. In the heart of the cliffs, among glowing trees and painted caves, children played. Their laughter echoed across the valley. Some had golden eyes. Some had freckles. Some had skin like dusk. Some like starlight. But all of them listened wide-eyed when an elder began to speak. Do you know the story of the man who fell from the sky? The children leaned in closer, and the story began. Once a man from the stars came crashing into the forest. He was injured, alone, and scared, but he did not fight. He did not hurt anyone. He looked like stone outside, but he had a heart full of light. At first, the tribe saw him as a sign, a gift, a rare hope in a world with no men. They wanted to keep him, hide him like treasure. But the man, he was not a thing to own. He wanted freedom, and he found one among them who understood. Her name was Sori. She helped him escape, helped him dream. And when he left, she stayed behind with a heart full of silence. But the sky did not forget. The man returned, not as a prisoner, not as a prize, but as a giver. He brought light seeds, water cleaners, medicines. He brought the sky down to earth, and he chose to stay. Not because he had nowhere to go, but because he found something worth building. Alex stood at the edge of the cliff now, looking down at a new village. The homes were stronger. The crops were taller. There was laughter. There was song. He smiled, older now but full of peace. Sori stepped beside him. Her hand found his. "You planted more than food here," she said. He chuckled. "What else did I plant?" "Stories," she said, "and love." Below them, children ran through the fields. Some called him Alex. Some called him Starfather. He shook his head. "I'm just a man." Sori leaned into him. "To us, you're more than that." One day, a ship appeared in the sky again. The tribe looked up with fear, but Alex stepped forward calmly and raised his hand. "No weapons," he told them. "No lies. Let me speak." The ship landed, and Earth soldiers stepped out. They had come looking for him finally, but not to save. They came to claim. "This world belongs to Earth now," the officer declared. "Step aside." Alex faced him, firm and steady. "I'm not leaving, and neither are they." The officer scoffed. "You're just one man." Alex smiled. "Not anymore." From behind him, the whole tribe stepped forward, silent, strong. Sori stood with them, her child on her hip. Warriors, healers, elders, and children filled the valley. The officer looked around and slowly backed down. "This world is yours," he said, "for now." They left and never returned. Years later, the stories grew taller than the trees. New tribes came to visit. They brought gifts, asked for peace, asked to learn. And in the center of the village stood a great statue. It was simple, just a man holding hands with a woman. At its base, words were carved in 3 languages. He came from the stars but chose to stay where hearts were warm. Alex, now with gray in his beard, sat by the fire one evening. Children gathered around him, asking the same question they always did. "Tell us again. Why did you come here?" He smiled. "I didn't come here. I fell." They laughed. "And why did you stay?" He looked at Sori, who sat nearby, weaving with her daughter. He paused and said softly, "Because someone caught me." The RA stars above twinkled quietly, and somewhere far away, Earth looked up at the same sky, still believing he was lost. But on this alien world, Alex Mercer was never lost again. The end.